Ranking sorceresses is hard. Many would consider a sorceress who can beat others in one-on-one combat as the top one. That usually is very hard to determine as they have different skills and usually don't end up fighting each other. But there are other factors that we can consider, like experience and achievement, in order to rank them. Hello Witcher fans, in this video I'm going to talk about top 5 sorceresses in Witcher 3. Number 1. Philippa Eilhart. An utterly new, secret organization should be founded, which will exclusively serve matters of magic, which will do everything to prevent a cataclysm. For if magic were to perish, our world would perish with it. Will Philippa win in one-on-one combat with other sorceresses in this list? Most probably yes. I'd actually bet on it. But there are other things that I don't need to bet on. Like, she's the most experienced sorceress in this list. She has the role of leader for other sorceresses, as she is the politician among them. There are other sorceresses who are interested in politics, but none compared to always plotting, pulling the strings, Philippa. She used to be King Vizimire's advisor at the time which Dijkstra was the head of Vizima's intelligence. Those two worked on many cases together and became lovers in the process. She was wise and cunning woman, always planned before acting, always had high goals to work towards to, and stopped at nothing to achieve them. Yet according to Geralt in the games, she respects people's decision when they are set on it. When Ciri was about to talk to Philippa, Geralt said to her, Philippa will ultimately respect her decision if she is strongly decided. Philippa was seldom in the fields. She usually plotted in a room far away from action and had others doing her biddings. It became obvious when hunting Vilgefortz in the books, as she herself didn't go to the castle. Philippa was present in Suddenhill during the First Northern War with Nilfgaard, and managed to leave the war unscathed. She also led the Thanet coup, the one northern sorceresses were arresting wizards united with Nilfgaard. She also established the Lodge of Sorceresses and became leader of it, to preserve magic and influence the politicians. Philippa was able to polymorph. She could turn herself into an owl, which is very unique ability and speaks of her great magical powers. She appears in the second and third game, where we get to see her being neck down in politics, and like her character in the books, she is always plotting. In the third game she is blinded, but not having eyes hasn't made her weaker. In fact, she is yet very powerful sorceress. We see her in action in Dijkstra's bathhouse, where she mind controls Dijkstra's men and troll, and while fighting Geralt, summons a fire elemental. She also blinds and kills Radovid, the person who blinded her in the first place. Number 2. Yennefer of Vengerberg. For whoever doesn't overcome the cowardice inside themselves will die of fear to the end of their days. Yennefer is in a way the opposite point of Philippa. Yennefer is usually in the fields doing what she has to do. She rarely shows interest in politics, although she is connected to it. Yennefer lived in the city of Vengerberg in the country of Eden, which was under rule of Demwend. Despite being there, she only visited the king when he asked for advice. But being a famous and powerful sorceress, she had no choice but to get involved in politics from time to time. Yennefer was obsessed with something else, being a mother. This led her to the hunt of Golden Dragon, where she showed how strong she is. With her hands tied, wounded and exhausted, just with her toes, she performed a spell that burst many people or turned them into animals. Or the time she easily killed Rience's thugs and burned his face, Rience only managed to flee with the help of another sorcerer who opened the portal for him to run. Yen is very special to Witcher fans because of her character, because of her being Geralt's true lover, and accepting Ciri as her daughter, to whom she would sacrifice everything. Yen was present at Sudden Hill, where she got temporarily blinded. She was also present at Thanet Ku. Yennefer has the experience of fighting with Jinns, Vilgefortz and his men, Rience and his thugs, Nilfgaardian fleet, and many more, including mind-controlling Geralt and making him beat the people she didn't like. Yennefer was not in the first 2 games, but we get to see her in the third, where Geralt is looking for her after recovering his memories. Meanwhile, Yennefer is working with Emhyr to find Ciri. We get to have many memorable moments with her, like the part fighting the Jinn on a ship on top of a mountain, or sneaking into Ermin's lab. Yennefer helps us in the Battle of Kaer Morhen and defeating the Wild Hunt in Skellige. She really shows her powers, making a majestic shield that covers all Kaer Morhen Castle to prevent Wild Hunt's portals and White Frost from getting in. Yennefer is one of 2 romance options for Geralt in the game. Number 3. Fringilla Vigo. Love mocks good sense. That's its charm and beauty. Although we don't see much of her in the games, but the things she did in the books makes me put her above Triss, as both Triss and Kira are very young, and in the world of magic, experience counts. Fringilla was a Nilfgaardian sorceress and cousin of Anna Henrietta. She too participated in Sudden, but she was on Nilfgaard's side, naturally. During this war, she blinded Yennefer. We don't really know how that happened, but it talks about how strong she is. On another occasion, she helped Yennefer escape from the lodge. She also was master of illusions, as the trinkets she made for Geralt saved his and Yennefer's life while fighting Vilgefortz. People who haven't read the books will also be surprised that she and Geralt had a rather serious relationship. In fact, what she and Geralt had in the books was much more serious than what Geralt had with Triss, at least romance-wise. In the game, she is held captive by Emperor Emhyr, later freed in the final stage of the game, where she helps us in defeating Wild Hunt. Number 4. Triss Merigold. No, I will not give in, and I won't be swayed. I am the 14th on the hill. I am not a little frightened girl. Triss, despite being younger than many other sorceresses, showed her strengths and talent in many occasions. Triss was an advisor to Foltest, king of Temeria, showing her interest in politics. She and Yennefer were close friends until she seduced Geralt and ended their friendship. Triss, despite being an accomplished and smart sorceress, was kind of naive. That led her being controlled in some sense by Philippa Eilhart. Yet despite other sorceresses, she was actually kind and good in heart. Triss was present at Sudden Hill, where she almost died. She was badly burned so much that no one could recognize her, but she miraculously survived and healed. During the coup in Thanet Isle, she was with Philippa, helping her arrest the sorceresses and sorcerers siding with Nilfgaard. She was the one that, in aftermath of the coup, where Geralt was dying, took him to Brookline and saved his life by doing so. She also visited Kaer Morhen by request of Witchers to take care of Ciri and helped her a lot. She has been on the fields many times and has helped Geralt, Ciri and Yennefer. But it was at the end of the books where she really showed her power by creating a spell no one ever had before. Triss was present in all 3 games in which she started a romantic relationship with Geralt. In the 3rd game, she is one of romance options beside Yennefer. She lives in Novigrad hiding from witch hunters, yet working hard to gather sorceresses and help them escape the witch hunters. Ultimately, she succeeds. Later, we see her in Battle of Kaer Morhen, dropping fireballs at Wild Hunt soldiers, in a spectacular scene to watch. And at the final stage of the game, Triss helps to defeat the Wild Hunt once and for all. throughout the game, we get to see how powerful and helpful she is. Number 5. Kira Metz. There are times when a woman should simply not explain her decisions. That goes doubly for sorceresses. Kira Metz isn't talked about in the books that much. She, like Triss, was an advisor to King Foltest. She, however, was not on Sudden Hill, but took part in Senate coup, helping Philippa, and later joined the Lodge of Sorceresses. She, like Triss, was among the youngest members of Sorceresses. We see her much more in the game, where she is hiding from witch hunters, taking refuge in Velen, a place she despises. Later in the game, we see her in action, where she makes a shield protecting her and Geralt from White Frost. She also helps in Battle of Kaer Morhen, and later takes off with Lambert to start a new life. That was all for today's video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe, as it would help the channel grow. And wait for more content like this in the near future. Have a good day.